Is it a recession indicator that men keep asking me to go on walks for first dates? I'm not even talking about like, oh, let's get a coffee and go for a walk. I'm straight up talking about like, let's go for a walk. And that is the first date. Like, I am a dog and I don't mind going for a walk. I like a walk, but I've never in my life had this many men ask me to go on a walk for a first date. Could this be a recession indicator? Can we not afford coffee or drinks or dinner? I'm just asking.
Hi, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Since they do not want to officially accept that we are actually in a recession, a lot of people have been making so many recession indicators videos. There are a lot of indicators that actually show that we are in a recession, and we have been in a recession for quite a while now. But since it is not officially, like, they do not want to say that we are in a recession, we're going to be checking them out and see what people have to say about this. But before we get right into this video, please make sure you click the like button. It helps with the algorithm and I appreciate that so much. Let's get right into this video.
My list of recession indicators. Number one, it's acceptable to live with your parents. There was once a sentiment, a very classist sentiment, that you were a loser if you lived at home with your parents. So much so that people's dating standards were you have to have your own place. Now it seems very acceptable and even a close reality to us all to eventually end up moving back home or with friends. Stay with me. Number two, DIY and homestead trends. We now are resulting to I'll do it myself or I'll grow it myself because the food America produces is killing us and our pockets. And the resources we need are hoarded and concentrated by the ultra wealthy. I support it, but I recognize it's a result of a stressed out consumer. We're suffocating. Number three, skinny content. Obviously, skinny content has been here for a while as a means of being fat phobic. However, the shift I'm seeing is eat less to save money, and the unintended consequences is a skinnier body. We're eating less and meal prepping more to save money on eating out, and while that's financially responsible, it's very reactionary and indicative of a recession to me. Fun. Number four, grad school interest. We know black women love collecting degrees like infinity stones, but it feels like everyone is going back to school just for a chance to increase their chances of a high-paying employment. Yes, this increases your debt obligations, but we're working on burning that obligation down, right? Right?
You know we're already in a recession and they're just not talking about it? Well, how would I know that? I'm not an economist. I own a small business that's non-essential. What does that mean? I don't sell food, water, fuel, things that people need to survive every single day. So what's my biggest indicator? My clients' buying power has dropped significantly. It's almost down by half. That means people are tightening their belts and they don't have the buying power that they used to have last year. You also want to look at other businesses, the businesses that are going bankrupt thanks to venture capitalists. You also want to look at companies like Sephora that are starting to run sales more frequently on certain items. They never used to do that. You also want to look at hair salons because when women don't have extra money, they stop doing their hair at the salon. Their nails stop getting done. I don't know if you know this, but this coming year in 2026, the princess nail is back. What does that mean? Shorter nails, which means less money at the salons because people are not going to have the money to spend. They already know it's coming. But don't you think it's funny that the government is pushing us into a recession even faster by cutting funding to services the poor and the middle class need and giving it to the richest of the rich? Don't you think that tax cuts should be given to the middle class and the poor and not the rich? Don't you think we should be taxing them more to fund services that everyday Americans actually need? Because why do they need private jets? Why do they need 500 houses? Why do they need so much money that they have to stash in offshore banks and shell companies in other countries? They have us thinking that we need to fight between left and right. Realistically, it's two sides of the same coin. We need to be fighting up versus down. So whoever is under a certain threshold should be banding together because realistically, everything that this government is doing, whether it's left, right, middle, is affecting the middle class and the poor the most and in a negative way. Look at everyone around you. Everyone is struggling. So stop buying their little spiels that they give you on the news that, oh, the Democrats did this, the Republicans did that. Band together and fight the machine between left.
Recession indicator. I just had a white lady with dreadlocks be my Uber driver and she was like, can you please give me 5 stars on the app because I really need to get my rating up so I can get more rides. And I gave her 1 star because, you know what? Work a little hard.
Things that I think are recession indicators, and no, I will not be elaborating. And this is also kind of like fascism indicators, but like lightweight. First, all the influencers going to the East Coast instead of having a Euro summer. It might seem counterintuitive because the East Coast is very expensive. It's not like a cheap place to live and eat every day. However, I stand on it. 2, the normalization of bankruptcy content. The way the attitudes have changed on bankruptcy in the past few years. The fact that a lot of my For You page is like, start posting your content. Just post it. It changed my life. Just post. For this one actually is a recession indicator, but the retrend back to skinny from body positivity, from embracing curves back to skinny, like actually is not only a side of fascism, but a recession indicator. The puritanical morality police on the internet. The number of coaches, life coaches that I knew when I was running my business who have gone to get full-time jobs and have left entrepreneurship entirely and are openly being like, oh my God, that was hell. The fact that you can now be your own QVC. We don't need QVC because we have TikTok Shop. The increasing popularity of investing. The burst of the online course bubble. The only way that you can sell a good course these days, maybe not the only way, is if it's a highly specific and very needed course. 2018, 2019, that was the golden era of selling courses online. This is not a new thought, but like the obsession with capsule wardrobes and neutrals and basic, our dramatic shift to favoring authenticity on TV shows, out of our creators, whatever, versus just a few years ago, had like a hyper curated Instagram feed, you were top of the world. The obsession with labeling yourself ADHD, autistic, ADHD, like all the things. Coming from someone who labels myself as ADHD and makes a lot of ADHD content, so I say that with no malice. And I think finally the fact that you can go more viral now for talking about debt or talking about how you make like a very low wage or just talking about struggles in general versus rags to riches content and rags to riches stories. I want to come up with like funnier ones, but I feel like those were all serious ones that I had to get off my chest because it's just so glaringly obvious to me.
New recession indicator alert. Looking on Marketplace to see if anyone's giving away like a chair or like a table while they're moving because they just need someone to take it off their hands for free as long as you come pick it up. And people literally rather price it at $10-$20 than to give it away for free anymore. And you have to come pick it up, which in New York, like you need an Uber and all that stuff. I remember I moved here like a few years ago, and when I tell you there were so many good just like chairs, dining room tables, sofas that people were giving away, and like that's not the case anymore, babe. Honey, there is no plane.
Our store is taking steps to conserve energy today by temporarily reducing lighting and air conditioning. What's going on at Target? What's actually happening? Reducing the light? Like, is that not a part of their consumer psychology? You know, the bright lights, and that's what gets customers like attracted to the store, something like that. Don't mind the bleach on my hoodie, for real. And air conditioning is actually crazy. It's getting hotter. It's not getting colder. Why would you be reducing air conditioning? Like, what's actually happening? What's actually happening? I feel like this is a real recession indicator, and they losing out on money because of the boycotting, but yeah.
So I just saw a TikTok talking about how beauty salons are a recession, and obviously that's probably one of the most expensive things you can do.
Have you guys considered the fact that the reason why everything is a recession indicator is that we've just been continuously in a recession since 2008, and it like really hasn't gotten better? It hasn't gotten better. It hasn't gotten better. It's getting worse. Have we ever considered that?
You want to know what the biggest recession indicator is? Food portions, and we should have known this sooner. America is literally known for having unhealthy food, but also very huge food portions. The food portions were so bad in America in the early 2000s that Michelle Obama literally had to intervene. We had an obesity epidemic. They literally had to change the school food that we got because we were eating so much food. I mean, we really had a problem with food in the United States. But now, these food portions are ridiculous. Like, don't even get me started with Chipotle. When Chipotle first hit the ground, those bowls were packed. I mean, the bowls were packed to the brim. You had your rice, they was packing the chicken, they was putting all the toppings on top. Now, you literally have to beg them to give you the right portion of chicken. I went to Chipotle the other day and I was mad pissed because the general manager was right there while I was trying to get my bowl. Mind you, I'm not even greedy. I don't even be asking for any extra chicken or anything. But when we got to the end of the assembly line, I asked for some cheese on top. He sprinkled about 5 pieces of cheese. So I'm like, can I please get some extra cheese? He was like, no, because then I'm going to have to charge you extra for that. First of all, do I look like a girl that care about charging extra? You can charge me the extra. I got the money in my account. But it's really the fact that they really playing with food portions now because it's a recession indicator. These restaurants do not got the money to afford this food anymore. Let me give you another example. The other day I went to Edo's with my sister, right? It's basically a Japanese hibachi steakhouse where they cook the food in front of you. I kid you not, this man was counting the amount of shrimps he was about to put in my seafood combo. Back in the day, they used to throw the shrimp on the grill and throw that food right on your plate. But now we rationing. Now everybody's rationing with the food. And I'm not even saying this to be big bad because you know body tea. But it's the fact that the food portions is literally a recession indicator, because America used to not play. Like, they used to give you as much food as you wanted. They didn't care. They was giving us an epidemic of obesity. But now all of a sudden they want to count and ration. And don't even get me started on the price of eggs. But yeah, I don't know what we're going to do about it, but there's definitely a recession like around the corner.
I genuinely do believe that a big recession indicator is the fact that all of these restaurants have turned into club turn-up spots at this point, because it all started back in the day with 12 Stories, like back when 12 Stories was more like smoke and mirrors vibes, and it was like you go get a couple cocktails, like kind of like date night spot, very vibey, very loungy. And then now fast forward to today, I can't even imagine going to 12 Stories unless it's like a set up day, like day party or function, etc. And I noticed that recently because I got a text saying that La Vie, the restaurant La Vie, is having like a brunch day party situation. Like, you're telling me La Vie, the rooftop on the wharf with the very incredibly mid food, is now a turn up spot? Or when I see like DJ sets at Officina, like, times are really tough.
The biggest recession indicator to me right now is how people react when they find out somebody they know live at home with their family. Because back in the day, you were getting roasted. If you were in your 20s, early 30s, and you lived at home, you were getting cooked. If you watch them old movies, they be telling them, oh, you live at home with your mom, you're a loser, you're not gonna get dates, you need to grow up, you need to become an adult. People are not moving like that anymore. You find out someone lives at home with their family in today's world, you like, so bro, you telling me that you don't pay rent and you got a good relationship with your parents? How did you do it? like people that turn living at home from being broke to, oh, I'm stacking. Like, bro, we live in the opposite day. The economy is cooked. It's cooked.
There's a very real recession indicator that you guys should be like keeping your eyes out for. If you walk into a Hollister in the near future and it's dim as fuck in that store and all of the employees are, for whatever reason, wearing only swimwear and the men aren't wearing shirts and have puka shell necklaces on, baby, the money's gone. When we start seeing that, that's how we know the money's gone. We've run out of money. When companies return to the marketing technique of using hot employees to sell things in store, that's how we know we've reached end of days for us all.
Many people say this is the same thing that they experienced during the 2008 recession. And you know what is funny? It's the fact that there are people who are actually experiencing this for the second time in their life. And it's like, damn, they just feel like life is not wanting to work in their favor, because how do you even explain this? You actually have to experience this situation multiple times in your life. And the simple thing about this is the fact that you do not need a finance degree for you to notice this, because this is your daily life. This is what even, I feel like even the blind can see clearly that this thing just, it doesn't feel right. Like, what the hell do you mean that I need an official report that this is what I'm going through before I can say, yes, I'm going through an inflation, before I can say, oh, I'm going through recession? That is just what we are going through. We're in it. We have been in it, like possibly for the past maybe 3 to 4 years now.
These are my true recession indicators. Number one is doctors, lawyers, and finance professionals becoming lifestyle content creators. Can you imagine, like 5 years ago, neurosurgeons and investment bankers posting daily vlogs on TikTok to make some extra cash? Like, that would never have happened. Professionals were professionals. They made the big money. They spent their free time spending that money. And now it's just not enough. Number two is Beyonce tickets still being on sale. They're not sold out. And you remember how hard it was to get tickets for the I Am World Tour or the Mrs. Carter World Tour. You had to be on the website the second they were released. And even then you were lucky if you got tickets. The Cowboy Carter Tour is literally next month and tickets are still available. I get it, the music doesn't hit quite like it did before, but still, it's Beyonce. Number three is the rise of skinny talk. To me, this is recession core. People don't have money to buy good food. People don't have money to go out and fine dine. People don't have money for personal trainers. People don't have money for expensive gym classes. So instead, we see the rise of eating nothing and walking. Like, both are free. It makes sense. How miserable. Next is the rise in child-free champions. Like, people do not want kids anymore. Say what you want, but having money makes having kids 1,000 times easier. Like, being poor with kids must be hell. Child-free by choice equals recession indicator. Next, the one that makes me really sad is the bar for aspirational content is so low. I used to love watching creators just for the aspirational motivation and inspo. I absolutely want to see your designer hauls. I do absolutely want to see your crazy mansion. I absolutely wanted to see your crazy cars. And yes, I wanted to see you in the Maldives. These days, aspirational vlogs are waking up, going to Pilates, getting a matcha and going to M&S. Like, how boring. I want to see luxury and I want to see excess, but recession indicator. And lastly, DIY beauty. The girlies are doing their nails at home, hair at home, laser at home. They are even micro needling at home. If that's not a recession indicator, I don't know what is. Sad times.
Look, I feel like pretty much everyone in America can agree that the economy is cooked, because it's like, look around. Like, take your pick. Do you want to focus on how bad the job market is, how expensive rent is, the fact that eggs are considered a luxury item, how much student loan debt people have, how people can't afford to buy homes or even start families? And the list goes on. But the thing is that our economy and our economic system doesn't only impact what we can afford or not. It also impacts and shifts the ways in which we relate to other people and ourselves. And I know it's not wild to say that most of us in this country feel lots of alienation, struggle feeling a sense of belonging and a sense of community, and might feel really lonely. And because of that, it makes tons of sense that we would go on like Twitch and stream someone we really like for hours. Or go on TikTok and Instagram and follow an influencer or someone we really like and just follow their life consistently and learn so much about them. Who do they hang out with? What do they like spending their time on? And then also more traditional forms of media consumption like reality TV shows like a Love Island. All of that's a perfect equation for more and more people to just be kind of in these like parasocial dynamics where we feel close to people that we might follow on different social media platforms and might feel connected to them. And like we literally know them, even if we've never met them, even if they do not know of our existence. And that in many ways is also looking to sort of fill the void that we otherwise would have if we were in more third spaces, had more access to leisure, more access to each other. I mean, we're even seeing how people are describing almost a parasocial relationship with ChatGPT because they ask ChatGPT for advice on how to navigate breakups, relationships, friendships, drama.
All the strippers I know in Las Vegas and some of the ones I follow on social media are saying similar things about how the clientele is not tipping in the strip club the way that they used to. Regular servers and bartenders are also saying that they're receiving less tips overall. The stats are all there to prove that people are shopping less, people are eating out less, and people are just spending less money on consumerism. Secondly, the CDC just reported that women are having less babies, and honestly, the economy is one of the biggest reasons why. I have a very long list of reasons of why I am never bringing children onto this planet, but people are financially struggling right now, moving back in with their parents, living paycheck to paycheck, losing their jobs to AI. The idea of bringing kids into this world to struggle and suffer does not sound enticing in the slightest. Which brings me to the third recession indicator, and it's that people in their 20s and 30s are moving back in with their parents. And honestly, we're not judging each other for it. I personally can't do that because my husband and I love the city of Las Vegas way too much to ever leave it. So we simply would not move in with our parents. But the idea of not having to pay rent is such an awesome thing right now that nobody in their 20s and 30s is judging each other for that. The next one is that Vegas tourism is down bad, so badly that Las Vegas casinos are actually offering discounts and incentives to convince people to come back to Las Vegas. Tourism is down in Las Vegas, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, and it makes me really sad because I'm a proud Vegas local and I actually want to see my city thrive. Vegas casinos are notoriously known for being extremely greedy, but with everything going on, they're actually offering discounts and incentives to get people to come, and that even includes some of them are waiving their resorts fee. And the last recession indicator, as I'm scrolling on TikTok, I'm seeing lash technicians, nail technicians, Brazilian waxers, so many people who work in the beauty industry, and they're saying that they are losing clientele because girls are trying to figure out how they can do all of these services DIY and do all of their beauty services at home so they can save money. So if the beauty industry isn't doing well, even though we live in a patriarchal society where women are told that if we are not beautiful, we are worth nothing, women are still not investing their dollars into beauty services because they're trying to figure out how to save money and do these beauty services on their own at home or not do them at all. I'm personally trying to look at this time in life through a positive lens by having gratitude for everything I do have, putting self-love into practice, and trying to find the silver linings in everything. But I sincerely hope that things change soon for the sake of the collective consciousness, because the weight of such widespread depression and struggle is extremely heavy.
Seeing a lot of people talk about recession indicators, and I thought I wasn't seeing anything, and then I realized that my recession indicator is what my spam consists of now. I have two frequent spams. One is that I'm getting texts from random numbers asking if I'm looking for work. And two, and the most prominent one, is that I have bought fake men in my TikTok DMs asking me if they can be my sugar daddy. Like a lot of them. So I'm like, no one's being a sugar daddy in this economy. So clearly fake. But also if there's any more real ones out there.
Today I just realized that we're really in a recession, and this is a recession indicator video. So if you don't want to hear about how shitty the world is about to be or is becoming, stroll up. So I'm in my car, I'm minding my business. I'm about to go into my apartment, and I see this G-Wagon pull up, and I'm like, okay. And I see this older man in some khaki pants, a polo shirt, and some Dockers. Like, I'm like, okay, he got money. But I see him with a McDonald's bag. So I'm like, okay. And I see my neighbor come downstairs because Uber Eats can't go upstairs. Like, you don't have a key fob, you can't go upstairs. That's the new policy in the building. So I see my neighbor come downstairs, take the McDonald's Uber bag, and say thank you. But in my head, I'm not thinking it's Uber. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? So I'm about to go upstairs. She's like, hey girl. I'm like, all right, you got your McDonald's? She's like, yeah, you know how to get my Uber Eats. Uber Eats? A 50-something-year-old man in a G-Wagon delivering Uber Eats? Some gotta give. There's no way. Like, we are in a recession. Like, this man is probably trying to keep his bills afloat. He picking up gigs. When you see men that look like, what is that teacher from Boy Meets World? Mr. Feeney? When a man look like Mr. Feeney coming out of a G-Wagon, you thinking like he got money, but he actually is a gig worker. Yeah, when you start seeing white people picking up gig jobs like crazy, yeah, shit is about to hit the fan. And what y'all think?
Ladies and gentlemen, the American unemployment rate has hit 4.2%, and about 285,000 jobs were payroll revisioned in the last 6 months. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in a recession. And this is mostly because of Trump and his poor economic policies, also his tariffs, and the fact that a lot of you didn't want to vote for a black woman, partially because she's black, partially because she's a woman, 100% because you're an idiot. That's all. That's it. We're in a recession.
Beauty salons are recession indicators, and yes, we're in one right now. I went to get my eyebrows done a few weeks ago, and the salon was completely empty. I'm talking, I was the only customer. Keep in mind, this was a Saturday afternoon, and I was talking to my eyebrow tech, and she was like, yeah, super unusual. It's summertime. This is normally our peak busy season. As one of the best salons in Chicago, they should have clients. So she's like, I'm gonna say it, we're in a recession. She starts explaining to me the politics of salons, which I find really interesting, in that a lot of her clients are the wives of very wealthy men. And they've recently pulled back and decided that that extra income is not something that they want to be spending, which is absolutely a recession indicator. There's also the flip side of women who are paying for their own services that have decided, I can't afford this anymore, and I need to do my own eyebrows, or I need to do my own nails. And so she's actually looking for another job right now, because she's like, I have to pay my bills, and I'm not getting enough foot traffic right now and clients to be able to do that. There's a reason recent grads aren't able to get jobs, and it has nothing to do with their work ethic or their degree. The market is bad bad. The economy is not doing great right now. Whether people say that explicitly or not, that's why fascism is on the rise. One of many reasons.
I mean, everywhere around us, like this whole thing is actually very strong indicators that we are actually in a recession. The fact that jobs are very hard and difficult to get these days. Grocery prices are very, very high, higher than we can ever imagine in our entire life. That is where we are at right now. And it is constantly increasing. And we have rent prices that are increasing. Everything is just going up. And it's like money is so hard to come by. When we talk about the value of money, it really doesn't have much value as it used to be. Like $100 is basically just you having $20 in your hands. Like it can just vanish out of your hands so quickly than it used to be before. When you had it, like the amount of groceries you would buy before with just $50, it's a lot. But right now you find yourself spending maybe $300 for the same amount. There's just so many indicators around us showing us this, and I feel like for me, I'm not the type of person who need an official report that, oh, this is what I'm going through, because I'm the one going through it. I can feel that life isn't working right. Like, okay, I can feel that I'm actually going through inflation. I can feel that I'm going through recession. I can feel that this job market is horrible, because I'm the one experiencing it. So what do you mean? And then there's so many people around me going through the same thing. So why do I need an official report telling me this is what I'm going through? Nobody can buy a house except the rich, and people are actually picking up multiple jobs. After someone's full-time job, they're over there trying to do some DoorDash in order to pay their rent, in order to pay their bills, in order for them to even eat. Like, people are actually having to keep about 3 jobs to survive, and you're telling me that everything is okay, that these are not indicators that things are just not right, like things are just messed up all the way. A lot of people have started delaying major life plans. Like, before, you hear people like be like, oh, at a certain age, maybe at 18, you should have already moved out of your family's house. Now people be like, maybe when you're in your 30s, like maybe you should be 25, 28. Or like before, people would be like, oh, at the age of 24, 25, you should be married, you should have your kids or stuff like that. Now it's like, don't even ever have kids. Like, people do not want to have kids at all because they are so expensive. People are like, nope, marriage, like nobody's financially stable out there. There's so many life events that people are actually delaying due to this situation. You've made it to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching this video to the very end. I really appreciate you. Please make sure you click the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new here and you're watching me for the very first time. Clicking the like button helps with the algorithm, and I appreciate that so much. Hit the notification bell to get notified every time I post a new video. I will see you on the next one. Bye.